Hey dancers, welcome back to our channel. I'm Julie and I'm the owner and one of the instructors here at Broche Ballet. We are now a virtual ballet school just for adults. That means you can take live Zoom classes with us every single day. You can watch our pre-recorded video content and take full-length video courses with us. Don't forget, if you're having fun with us, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. It really does help us out. Today, we're going to be talking about how to use Zoom. All right, we're not talking about the technical features. We're talking about how to position your camera, what to wear, how to interact with your teacher so that you can get the most corrections and the most out of every single Zoom class. Now, as a teacher, we can see a lot on Zoom if, as a student, you are on the other side and know a little bit about how to use your camera and how to position it for us. So I'm going to be taking you through all of those tips and tricks today. So let's get started. Tip number 1, come up to the camera to interact with your teacher between the combinations. If you just stand back here the whole time, if you just stand back here with a really lax attitude, your teacher won't be able to see how you're feeling, if you're confused, how you're doing in class, and get that feedback from you. The body language on Zoom doesn't come across as strongly as it does in the studio, so it's important for you to really engage with your teacher and show them how you're doing and how you're feeling. So like this. You do the combination, you finish everything, blah, 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 and then while the teacher is talking or explaining the other side, come up to the camera, look at them, engage with them, maybe lean over, maybe kneel down, maybe have a chair right next to the camera, so you can really engage in that one-on-one conversation with your teacher. They can see you over Zoom, they can see your beautiful shining face, they can see how you're feeling, if you're feeling confused, concerned, lost, bored, happy, and get a feel for how you're doing if they can see your face. So tip number 1, come up to interact with your teacher. All right, tip number 2, wear light colors. So this top I'm wearing, fabulous. These pants I'm wearing, not so much. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples. And what I want you to do is to watch my legs and see if you can spot the mistakes. So an example of what we're looking at in this combination, I want you to, can you tell if my leg is turned out or if my leg is turned in a la seconde? We're going to do kind of like this. This is an example of turned in. And then here's turned out. So let's take a look at that in a couple different outfits. Contrast also helps, so if you have a light floor, dark socks or slippers are helpful, and vice versa. So if you have a dark floor, light socks and slippers are helpful. Contrast with whatever you're standing in front of can be really helpful as well. All right, so tip number 3. This is a little bit of a tip, a little bit of a question. One of the big questions I get asked is how much can you actually see on Zoom? Now, to answer this question, I want to illustrate it with an example. Have you ever watched the Olympics? And especially I love to watch ice skating or gymnastics. Those are some of my favorites. And the commentators, the judges, they're so far away from the performer, the commentators watching on video on this tiny screen, and they are picking out technical flaws left and right. They pick out the most minute of details just from watching the performer on video. Zoom classes are really no different. I'm simply watching a video of you dancing and helping to point out things that you can work on and things to improve on. So just like those commentators on the Olympics can point out all kinds of things just from a video, I can do the same thing on Zoom. Tip number 4, your camera angles. Okay, so there is one big drawback on Zoom. As a teacher, I can't walk around you if I need to see something else. But what you can do as a dancer is give me, the teacher, a variety of views of your body. So one day, maybe stand facing the camera so I can see a front view. From the front, I can see all kinds of stuff like how turned out your leg is. I can see the positioning of your hands and your port-a-bras. I can see the squareness of your hips. I can see all kinds of wonderful things. Then maybe another day, stand facing the side so that I get a side view. From the side, I can see if your arms are too far back. I can see if your ribs are open. I can see if your pelvis is level, tucked, or too far out to the back. I can see if your knees are forward or if your knees are open. I can see so many things from the side view. Maybe yet another time, give me a view of just your legs or of just your feet so I can really monitor if you're sickling your feet, how you're pointing your toes, how your lower leg looks. Maybe another time, give me a view of your upper body so I can really see the full extension of your fingers in your port bras. Every time you come to class, if you give me a different view or even just a slightly different angle of your body, I can see new and different things and give you new things to think about. So that leads me into tip number 5. What I recommend for this tip is to log in twice. Now, if you are using a Zoom link, typically, if that link has been given to you, you can log into it on multiple devices. So you can log into it once on your cell phone or your iPad or something that's a little bit more mobile, where you can place it in different places around the room to use as a camera for me to see you. Then log in on a second device, but don't connect to audio. Only connect to audio one time. So log in on your second device, let's say a computer. On the computer, you can put me as full screen so you can see me dancing, me explaining, me talking to you. You can have that screen at eye level to you where it can be, let's say, on your countertop or on whatever you're holding on to, but I'm seeing more than just your face. So you can have one screen that's bigger with me on it, and another camera, your phone, your iPad, something like that, that you can move around the room. Now you can get a tripod, a little tripod that can hold your phone. If you want to be able to set your phone in different places for me to see you, you can get a tripod that extends. You can just set your phone on the counter. You can do anything like that, but logging in twice can help you get a good view of me and help me get a good view of you. My last and final tip for you is how to still get the escape in a Zoom class that you get in the studio. Now, I know so many of us think about escaping to ballet class, right? Ballet class is the time for us. It's a time to be with ourselves and our thoughts and our friends and our community and all of that. And so how do we get this at home on Zoom? First of all, I would say change your clothes for class. You would change your clothes. You would take the time to put on something for ballet class. So take that time for yourself at home. I know it seems silly, but put on a leotard and tights. Put on your tights and your white t-shirt. Put on something that you wouldn't just wear around your house, so that there is that context switch of what you're wearing around the house and what you're wearing in class. Now, of course, here at Broche, we are very much of the opinion that you should come as you are. So if you roll out of bed in your jammies and you want to just show up to class in that, we love it. We will totally take you as is. But this tip is if you're looking for that mental escape, sometimes just changing your clothes can help. Another suggestion is to, I know this sounds silly, but to use your class water bottle or something more similar feeling to class. So if you're using a cup and you're just going back and forth to the kitchen to refill it, sometimes it doesn't give you the same experience as sort of packing your water, packing your snack, and getting ready to go to the studio for the long haul. So it can help you kind of get that feeling. If you use your sport water bottle, you kind of give yourself that familiar surrounding. And lastly, kind of goes back to my first tip, come and engage with your teacher. Your teacher will be so happy to engage with you. When we're teaching over Zoom, the audience, the room doesn't have nearly as much energy to give back as in a studio, and so it can be hard for us to translate that energy through Zoom to you. But if you come up and interact with us, I promise you're going to have such a more rich experience to be able to interact with us on a one-on-one basis. We'll be smiling at you, we'll be calling you by name, we'll be really interacting with you to help kind of suck you in and pull you into that world and pull you out of everything else. Of course, I hope it goes without saying, don't check your phone, don't check your email. I know it's hard because we're using those very devices to project ourselves for the teacher, but be really careful to turn your notifications off. Don't look at them. Treat it like you would a ballet class and take that time for yourself. All right, dancers, until next time, happy dancing.